maybe my favorite bet of the week, and that's Utah State plus the 22.5 against Vanderbilt. We've talked about this game all week here on Send It In, and I just think it is a great spot to fade Vandy. I talk about spots a lot on this show because that's what football is all about. You're not going to get up the same way for every game, every single week, and I just don't think Vandy is going to get up for this game as much as they have the last couple weeks and with Bama on deck, right? So they've had to go on the road to Virginia Tech, South Carolina. Last week was a revenge game against Georgia State, who they hung 70 on. Vandy's not really a team that's built to blow out other teams. They're not built to be a big favorite. They're built to hang around, keep games low scoring, chew up the clock, go on 8-9 minute drives. Utah State's already played Texas A&M this year. They hung around with them. Bronco Mendenhall's their head coach. Bryson Barnes been in college football a while, used to be the quarterback at Utah a couple years ago. I like this Aggie team. I think they can keep it close. And you know what? I do think a money line sprinkle could be worth it because, again, Vanderbilt is not built to play from behind. If Utah State can get out to an early lead, Vanderbilt's going to get out of their game plan. And whenever you're dealing with a letdown spot, always a nice spot to fade a team and maybe take the underdog on the money line. So I'll look at Utah State plus 22.5. Might take a little money line as well. Give me the Illini plus 6.5 against USC. There are some big-time trends that are in Illinois' favor going into this game. The first one is that USC since 2013 is 1-13 straight up and against the spread when traveling into the Central or Eastern time zones. They are terrible in these spots. The other one is that Lincoln Riley is a favorite, as a road favorite since he has been at USC, has not covered a spread outside of the state of California. Two of his covers were against UCLA, but he has not covered a game as a road favorite outside the state of California, and now they're laying about a touchdown on the road against an Illinois team that got absolutely crushed last week against Indiana. I think it's a great bounce-back opportunity for Illinois. And if USC wins this game, I don't think it's going to be by margin because they never play well in these kind of games. Give me the Illini plus 6.5. I also like Auburn plus the points against A&M, and I'm taking some money line with Auburn as well. I think Auburn is a simple handicap. You just look at their matchup, and are they going to be able to run the ball against that team? They could against Baylor, they win that game. They couldn't against Oklahoma, they lose that game. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. A&M's given up 142 rushing yards on the ground this season per game. UTSA, Utah State, Notre Dame, all were able to run the ball on A&M. No reason why Auburn shouldn't be able to do the same. This is going to be the best defense that A&M has gone up against as well. And you come off that big win against Notre Dame, the biggest win in the Mike Elko era. Now you're coming off a bye week. Is that necessarily a good thing for A&M? Because for the last 2 weeks, all you've been hearing is people talk about how great you are, could be making the SEC championship, college football playoff. And they got a desperate Auburn team who's coming off a tough loss to Oklahoma, trying to bounce back. I like Auburn plus 6.5. I also like Bama plus the 3 against Georgia. I think Bama wins the game outright. Look, man, Kellen DeBoer in these kind of games, he's just really, really good. We don't want to bet him when they're a big favorite on the road, but in these marquee games, ranked matchups, tight point spreads, a lot of playoff implications on the line. This is when his teams going back to Washington usually play very well. Both teams are coming off a bye. Bama last year off of a bye had their 2 biggest wins against Georgia and then LSU. So you give them multiple weeks of preparation, normally very good in those spots. Ty Simpson, everybody buried him after the Florida State game. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think Bama's going to be able to make some plays offensively. I'll take the Tide plus 3 against Georgia. And then give me Penn State minus 3.5 against Oregon. Most of the week, I've been saying, if it was 3.5, just bet the money line. If it drops down to 3, then I would lay it. I think the fact, though, that Oregon's a very public dog, a lot of people are building up this narrative. James Franklin can't win the big games. He's terrible against top 10 teams. But that line has stayed at 3.5 all week. I do think it's going to be a one-score game, but I do think Penn State is going to cover. That's obviously the ultimate key number in football, more so in the NFL, but definitely in college. When you get these big-time premier matchups, I think 3 is a much more valuable number. So the fact that it went down to 3 for a little bit, immediately went back up to 3.5, Penn State's the right side in the game. They've had forever to prep for this. They're at home, the more experienced team. White out. I like Penn State minus 3.5. We have some questions in the chat. Our guy Reed Phillips, love the Bama money line pick. PJ, if you were to go dabble in alts, how far would you go? Reed would not do alts in that game. Just Bama money line for me. I will say that is going to be a great game to bet live. Georgia has won 33 straight games at home. So if Bama wins that game, it's not going to be by 14 or 21 points. It'll be a 3-4 point win, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then on the flip side, with Bama being so desperate, having such a great track record against Kirby Smart, I think if Bama loses, it's only a one-score game. So if Georgia gets out to a 7-0 lead, 10-0 lead, we can get Bama like 10.5, 11.5. I would be all over that as well. So no alts, but I think live betting, great angle there.